Yo, everybody, what's going on? What's going on? We got a lot going on with this whole thing with the Trump administration. Everybody's talking like, oh no, the Trump administration, he's bringing back segregation and all this other weird shit. And I'm just like, bruh, it ain't even like that, honestly. But, it's something about him passing some kind of law or some kind of executive order because he can't really pass a law about bringing back like merit based hiring, right? He's bringing back merit based hiring so people can kind of get it, not based off of the way you look or your color or whatever orientation you deal with, but he brought it back on the strength of you got to be qualified for this shit, and I hope you're up to the task. So now we actually have to put in the work. And honestly, I don't like it, but I love it at the same time because it's like, yeah, black people, we already know how to work. We've been doing it, but it is interesting to pay attention to. It really is. So, what do we do with that situation? I have no damn clue. But people have been taking this like, yo, they're really bringing back segregation. Like, they're really trying to bring back like Jim Crow era and fucking COINTELPRO and all that other stuff. And honestly, they gonna try it, but it's a long discussion. It shouldn't be too long, I hope, but I need people to understand that this is not what people are trying to bring it out to be. It's one of those we want to get a rise out of you niggas, so that's what they're doing. That's it. They want you out in the streets, acting all irrational, acting all out of pocket, and they want to say, well, these niggas is acting goofy, now we can enforce martial law or something like that. We don't know completely what it is, but I'm just saying it's not what we think it is. But let's look at some stuff so we can get to the bottom of the situation, shall we? And I'm not going to take too long on this.
This amendment, really quick, it says nothing in this act may be construed to allow an executive department to enact a policy that supports racial segregation. If you guys vote against this, you are voting against a sentence that says that nothing in this bill should allow or support racial segregation. I want that to be on the record. So when we have a recorded vote on this, if you vote no to this amendment, you are voting to racially resegregate the United States. Let's be clear about that. I yield my time to the gentlelady.
Okay, so I just want to break down this is the new America. That title is crazy because they vote no on an amendment regarding segregation. But I don't think people understand how expensive or how just chaotic that would be trying to segregate the country. We're too integrated of a country to segregate. Interracial marriage is at an all-time high. Interracial children numbers are at an all-time high. If it wasn't for interracial children, the black community wouldn't be 15%. You take out those interracial kids, I think we dropped to like below 13 now. Thanks to baby deletions and deletion of ourselves, we are a low demographic and we should be a high demographic, but we choose to be goofy. But I'll continue on. The segregation thing is a little weird, especially hearing it from a white woman, but not all white people are racist, so it's not unsurprising, but you know.
Gentlelady
We go back to
yields back.
Stansbury.
Any other members seek recognition? The question is now on the amendment offered by Ms. Presley. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed signify by saying no. No. In the opinion of the chair,
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Conley.
I request a recorded vote.
Recorded vote is ordered as previously announced. Further proceedings on the question will be postponed. The question is now on the amendment in the nature of a substitute.
Mr. Chairman, point of order.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, I just want to clarify that there was a recorded vote requested because all of the Republicans just voted orally against an amendment.
That's
Point of
not
order.
A point of order. That's not a point of order.
Allow
You'll-
the administration to
No.
racially
Stansbury,
resegregate
you'll get on
the United
MSNBC
States.
tonight some other way. All right. No point of
No,
order.
I'm
You're
just
out of
making
order.
a point
This-
so that
Mr.
the
Chairman, this is
American
point of
people
order.
who are
She's out of
watching
order. Gentlelady,
understand
out of
what
order.
just occurred. You are on the record.
Ms. Stansbury, you know what the parliamentary procedure is on a point of order. No, you.
Mr. Chairman, that is
You're gonna
true, but you all are going to have to answer to the American people.
All right, you go. Eliminating the Department of Education bureaucrats is going to lead to white-only water fountains. That's what you all have just said. All right. That's the American people are going to buy that. The question is now on the amendment.
Okay, so according to that white woman, the American people are going to make sure that they get an earful about voting no on something about segregation, but trying to make it seem like the country is just going to go back to the 40s and the 50s. It just can't do it. Like I previously stated, we just are too integrated of a country. Black men enjoy dating outside their race as much as white men and Asian women do. It just is what it is. Now, if they're trying to preserve the white race, yeah, but the problem with the Republican Party is they don't realize a good amount of famous Republicans are in interracial marriages. So for people who are trying to say they're going to segregate the country, they'd have to segregate from their wives and husbands too. Shit, even Kamala Harris is in an interracial marriage. All those politicians, most of them are. They would have to segregate from their own marriage. And people are trying to find all this weird gaslighting shit and going, oh, well, if they get rid of Loving versus Virginia, well, then Clarence Thomas is going to have a fucking hard decision to make because he's married to a white woman and he's on the Supreme Court and they make that decision. Loving versus Virginia is a law passed by Congress, not an executive order by the president. So it doesn't make any sense for people to think that Donald Trump is going to be responsible. He can't be because he can't overthrow Congress or the Supreme Court. And I'm pretty sure I meant to say the Supreme Court is responsible for Loving versus Virginia, same way they were for Roe versus Wade. So that's my bad. But again, either way, Donald Trump can't overturn anything from the judicial or the legislative branches. He's executive. He can only deal with executive things. So say something Biden did in this 2020 to 24 administration. He can overthrow that shit, but that's about the best he can do. But that just shows how illiterate or politically unknown people are about our own branches of government. But I'm going to put on this next video. Maybe this brother can bring some clarity as well. It's just this conversation has gotten way out of hand way too fast. So if I seem a little irritated, it's only because I'm just over black people not making any sense. I just opened up with that video to show y'all, how people are getting the segregation shit figured out. So, that's just been the topic of 25 since the beginning of this month. So we got a lot to cover. I'm not gonna lie.
Executive Order 11246 in 1965. And this primarily served as an Lyndon B. Johnson signed Executive Order 11246 in 1965. And this primarily served as an extra enforcement mechanism targeting specifically federal contractors. And this executive order required affirmative action. Under Johnson's executive order, federal contractors were required to set diversity goals. Trump has said countless times that he wants to focus on merit and not diversity. The name of Trump's executive order is ending illegal discrimination and restoring merit-based opportunity. So the goal of the executive order was for federal contractors to focus on hiring and finding the best people for the job, not so much skin color and gender. So the executive order that Trump repealed only applies to federal contractors, not everybody. So to make it simple, here's what Trump's repeal actually did. It removed an extra layer of federal oversight for government contractors, ended the affirmative action mandate for federal contractors, and it took away contract-based segregation penalties. But this is already illegal under federal law, so this aspect was redundant. It wasn't needed. So this is what actually happened. Segregation is not being brought back, and nobody is losing their rights. Again, as I said before, this is just a combination of ignorance and fear-mongering from many people on the left.
Well, there y'all have it, but I'm gonna replay it just so I can let that shit sink in, because it made perfect sense to me. But let's just run it back again.
Lyndon B. Johnson signed Executive Order 11246 in 1965. And this primarily served as an extra enforcement mechanism targeting specifically federal contractors. And this executive order required affirmative action. Under Johnson's executive order, federal contractors were required to set diversity goals. Trump has said countless times that he wants to focus on merit and not diversity. The name of Trump's executive order is Ending Illegal Discrimination and Restoring Merit-Based Opportunity. So the goal of the executive order was for federal contractors to focus on hiring and finding the best people for the job, not so much skin color and gender. So the executive order that Trump repealed only applies to federal contractors, not everybody. So to make it simple, here's what Trump's repeal actually did. It removed an extra layer of federal oversight for government contractors, ended the affirmative action mandate for federal contractors, and it took away contract-based segregation penalties. But this is already illegal under federal law, so this aspect was redundant, it wasn't needed. But this is what actually happened. Segregation is not being brought back, and nobody is losing their rights. Again, as I said before, this is just a combination of ignorance and fear-mongering from many people on the left.
Shout out to that brother, man. See, I put that brother there because it felt so good to see a black man break down a political thing that happened without acting like a damn fool. Now, if he's supporting Donald Trump, that's neither here nor there. I really don't support Donald Trump. I think it's weird that we do. I mean, when black men separated from the Democrats, I was happy. I just didn't think we'd go to Trump like the white folks did in 2016. But, 20% of black men who voted went that direction. I'm not mad at them. I just don't understand. And maybe they want to change. Maybe they feel heard. The one demographic in the country that ain't heard is black men. And it was good to see that brother stand up, But yeah, Trump has no control over every single worker. He has control over federal workers and things like that. But he couldn't come to Philly and stop the city workers from working. That's only if a government shutdown happens. And a government shutdown might be imminent based off the bullshit he's been on. But for the most part, no, he can't run everybody the way he thinks he does. He's actually just a bully trying to do bully shit. That's really just what it is. And, of course, you got the black people in college freaking the fuck out. And then you got the black people in goddamn just in the streets of Philadelphia. I mean, I live in Philly. So, this is a liberal ass town. Democrats run this joint 9 out of 10 for real. And that's how Chevelle Parker got voted in with no damn work, and David O lost the election last year. Because we just run behind the Democrats still, vote blue no matter who, and all that weird shit. I mean, it's kind of starting to shift, thank God, but we're still too far on it. But yeah, federal workers, he's dealing with federal contractors, trying to bring back hiring to a merit. You have to know what you're doing, or at least are willing to learn. You got to start at the bottom if you don't know what you're doing. And if you know what you're doing, you can start at the top. That's just the way it is. That's just what it is. We got to get it popping. And I need this fire under black people's ass, because you know what? It's about damn time we got it. I think if black people are that scared of segregation, maybe that'll scare you to get your shit in order. Might scare us into actually unifying and working as a team for once, instead of trying to one up each other or crabs in the barrel each other. We can just build something. So, they're trying to connect all this to DEI, and I've seen some of the dumbest comments in Instagram, and it just made me want to hang myself. People talking about the Harvard announcement, right? The Harvard announcement was, for people who come from families that make less than 200,000. Which is a lot of people, let's be honest. You'll get a free tuition to go to Harvard. And the first comment I saw, this was a black man, it wasn't even a sister, saying, oh, well, now that DEI is gone, black people won't be able to get into Harvard. I'm like, who the fuck are the Obamas? Who's Felicia Rashad? All these black people got into Harvard before DEI was even a thing. DEI happened in 2020 from the damn George Floyd riots. It had nothing to do with the George Floyd riots, but whatever. That was just to shut people up. And then, black people latched onto that shit and was just like, this is about black people, even though only 4% of black people really benefited from it. Walk me through that shit. We're the face of it. The DEI presidents be black women all the time and all this other weird shit. And the next thing you know, 4% of black women benefit from it. 4% of black people in general benefit from it. But white women got all the praise from that DEI shit, because it was another scam. It was another scam to make you think they were caring about other people, but they wanted to keep the wealth to themselves. Because that's just the country we live in. This isn't the new America. This is the America it's always been. And I just need people to understand that shit. It's nothing personal. It's nothing against, people who don't get it, but I need y'all to get it because it's just not making any sense. Let me go into this video to let y'all see exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to like the segregation thing and everybody just acting real weird about it. Especially when like it's always, and for some reason it's always the women. Like for some reason our women will hear something and just go out this is what happens when dads ain't around. We gotta straighten this shit out because I'm sorry, black man, we got a lot to deal with. We got a lot to fix because unfortunately our women are just controlled by the government or by the politicians. Well, the Democrats, really. The Democrats, that college indoctrinating shit, and a lot of other things. So let's see what the sister got to say about this segregation topic that's been brought up.
I never gave my input on the little 2025 segregation thing. And all I gotta say about is, yeah, it's Kiki laughing right now, but once that time really come, shit gonna get hard. Like, shit gonna get hard. And I'm not gonna lie, a lot of y'all need to talk to y'all grandparents because, like, if y'all really knew how segregation really was, y'all wouldn't be laughing and kikiing about that. Like, no.
Okay. So the segregation topic, talk to your grandparents, this, that, and the third. Yeah, my grandmother was born in 1945, right? So I get it. About 20 years before the Civil Rights Act was signed into play. My grandmother never really talked to me about it. Now, I mean, I also never asked. Now that she has Alzheimer's, I really can't ask her. But it just is what it is, unfortunately. But my grandmother never treated people any differently. And she was born in a time when that was a thing. My aunts, both of them were born a little before the Civil Rights Act. They never talked to me about it either. I think my grandmother and her sisters were born in Philly. I'm not 100% sure now that I think about it, but I think they were born in Philly. So, they they were born in the North. Racism was a little different up here. We had racism, don't get it fucked up, but it wasn't as nowhere near as intense as down like Louisiana or Mississippi or some shit like that. Like Philly was a little more welcoming to black people than a lot of other states in the country. So I understand why black people love it here, but we turned it into a damn war zone. But yeah, I don't understand it when it's like talk to your grandparents about segregation. Well, we weren't there. Our grandparents might have been, some of our grandparents. Honestly, some of our grandmothers ain't even old enough to be our grandmothers. Like my mom became a grandmother in her 40s because my sister was loose with the goose. Like, you feel me? Like black women don't get to be grandparents at an old age. They become grandparents young because they have kids young, because we whore around in this community. So it's hard to ask your grandparent any question when your grandparents ain't but 30 to 40 years older than you are. You be 18, your grandmother just turned 55. You be like, what the hell? This weirdest. Like, you ever see those videos where it's like you got 5 generations straight? How y'all all alive? That's crazy. Because y'all all had kids crazy young. And nobody stopped that train in the tracks and said, this doesn't make sense. Like the black community, like it's just weird that it's just like, yo, segregation's coming back and it's funny. And I get it. It's not a joke. But honestly, if I had to think of like a cultural standpoint of how the black community was before integration, we were way better before integration. And I like integration. I have a lot of friends of different races, white, black, Asian, Hispanic, the 9. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to say that like I don't like diversity. I like having friends of different races. It allows me to see the world from a different perspective. If I didn't, I'd probably be stuck on that ghetto shit. When I was a teenager, younger kid, I used to run around thinking all that ghetto shit was cool. Like, met other people of other races. It wasn't the norm. It's only with our community. The romanticizing, killing each other, and all that stuff. So I get why segregation is a terrible thing to think about in 2025, but we're just too integrated as a community, as a culture. We don't We go down the street every day and see people of different races just about anywhere, unless you're in Wyoming, which is like 3% black or some shit like that. So I can only imagine it's a way less population of the other races there. So like when you go over like flyover towns like Middle America and sundown towns and stuff like that, yeah, you might see way more white people. But you come to Philly, Chicago, Boston, Detroit, California, a lot of those other places, there's so much diverse people there. You know what I mean? So we even have Filipinos here now, Cambodians more than I've ever seen in my entire life. You know what I'm saying? Just like one day I woke up and there was a lot of Filipinos and Cambodians out here in Philly. I was like, where the hell did y'all come from? Then we got like, like legal Mexican people living here and stuff like that. We just have a lot of diversity and a lot of integration and a lot of interracial dating and things like that that go on in America at an all-time high. Okay, imagine trying to separate people, right? So we bring back segregation a little over 20 minutes in. We bring up segregation. Let's say, okay, we got all the black people on one side of the country, all the white people on the other. We got Hispanic people on one, Asian people on one, Indian people on one. Let's just say Pacific Islanders on the other. How the fuck are you going to split up 6 races onto a country like this? Who goes where, who owns what, who does what, and how do we do it? Do you imagine being in an interracial marriage and you and your wife get separated, or your wife or the woman and her husband get separated? So an Asian woman and a black man, one's on one side, one's on the other. They can't even love each other. It just doesn't make sense. The politicians would have to send their wives and husbands to different sides of the countries, and they can't meet unless they put the interracial people in the middle. You know what I'm saying? Like bridge the gap. But that just doesn't make any sense. It's too difficult. Imagine trying to separate the schools. In Philly, it's not that hard, but in other places, I assume it's real difficult because now you got to put the black kids in one school, the white kids in another school. The school district will be having a lot of the school district will probably just quit because now we got to find a place for each racial demographic of kids to go. It just doesn't make it's not possible. We're just too integrated of a country. But I need y'all to hear her again because it sounds like, the way black people talk, it's like we be there. We don't be there. It feels terrifying to see the history, but we don't be there. But look.
I never gave my input on the little 2025 segregation thing. And all I gotta say about is, yeah, it's Kiki laughing right now, but once that time really come, shit gonna get hard. Like, shit gonna get hard. And I'm not gonna lie, a lot of y'all need to talk to y'all grandparents because, like, if y'all really knew how segregation really was, y'all wouldn't be laughing and kicking about that. Like, no.
So she's saying when it comes, like, it's definitely gonna be here one day. That's just, it's not gonna happen, bro. Not the way people are making it seem. And it just. Honestly, it can't happen. I just broke down why it can't happen. But let the truth be told, people will sit here and act as if, well, they could always bring back slavery. It's literally a law signed by Congress. But, Abraham Lincoln signed it. Yeah, the president signed it, but it had to pass through Congress because it's a federal law. It's a law. So Trump can't just wake up one day and go, I'm gonna remove the 13th Amendment and bring back slavery. He can't do it. He literally can't do it. He can try, but the nigga can't do it. But here, I got some different races of people reacting to it too. I got a white girl and a Hispanic girl coming up. Ain't that some shit?
Ready for segregation to come back? Are you excited? I know, me too. What? What do you mean? No. The Democrats told me that Trump was bringing segregation back. What are you talking about? That's not true? Dang. I guess I should have known better when I still had to wake and go to work after Trump became president. And I was still able to do all the same shit that I had been doing. But dang, I done changed the signs at work, y'all. What am I gonna do now? Y'all so stupid with this nonsense. It's kind of like this, like how the DEI hire program was taken away because we want people to be hired based off of their merit versus their race, sex, sexual orientation, right? It's kind of like that. Those laws came off the back of the Jim Crow era, right? Which they were needed at the time because back then it was a lot different than it is now. And so now, in today's age, now that everyone has the same opportunities in America, and there are so many different races and religion that are federal workers, those laws just aren't needed anymore because we've surpassed that, right? We've surpassed that time. So we just don't need it anymore. I think the DEI hire, that's a good example, right? Do you get it? It's just not, it's not the same anymore. Okay? It's just not.
Okay, so obviously this is a white woman talking about it, and I can understand why she's so damn comfortable about it because, white women sleep next to power. Like, bitch, you sleep next to power. You feel what I'm saying? So nobody sleep next to the men who colonized a country and tormented a whole race of people just because they got fucking issues within themselves that they take out on us. So yeah, she's 100% on Donald Trump's team. But again, we learned this after the election. White women ain't trading the patriarchy. They benefit from it too much. Shit, if it's one demographic that might benefit from the patriarchy more than white men, it's white women. like, what are we gonna do with that situation? It's just what it is. Like segregation, and she's saying it basically saying like DEI was instituted for those things. She thinks that this country doesn't need it anymore. I personally think that people make it sound like black people are the only people that get off on this shit. We don't. If anything, I'd say other races get it more than we do. Especially with DEI. I just broke down. She's a white woman and she doesn't even want DEI, but it's weird because she benefits from it the most. But the merit conversation, white women are still going to benefit off of it because white people are going to keep the things to themselves, which is why I keep telling black people, if y'all really wanted to see a difference, it would have to start with us. We're the only ones who can make this difference for ourselves. If we could do it at a time where everything was stacked against us, that's when we were the strongest. This segregation shit, even if it were to happen, I would say for black people, that would be the best possible situation. I think we might be one of the only people who can function better when everything is stacked against us than anyone else, because we're the only race who's had to do it, at least here in America. No other race of people have had to survive the shit that we've had to survive. And we're the only race of people who still have to kiss the ass of other people to try to think we can make it. Think about this for a second. Tell me when white people, Asian people, Hispanic people, Middle Eastern people, Indian people, anyone else ever had to survive black codes, convict leasing, Jim Crow, redlining, sundown towns, COINTELPRO, assassination of leaders, crack epidemic, mass incarceration, school segregation, destruction of 60 plus black towns, bill exclusion, loan denial, police lynchings, media demonization, and land theft. What other race of people has dealt with that in mass like we have? No other race can say they did that shit, and then we still push through, even after all of that. So honestly, I'm with it. I'm not with it completely because, like my best friend is white. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going to sit here and lie. I've never dated a white girl. Really don't plan on it. It's just what it is. I'm not against interracial dating. But yeah, we're the only race that's dealt with a whole long list of shit that we could jot down for weeks and still not scratch the surface. Because that's just what we've had to deal with. And we've punched through all of that. We're still here. And we're doing wonderfully, I think. I would say this black community could get just as much, if not more, done than the previous generations who've tried, because we actually get it now. The black men 30 and under, they're not putting up with that bullshit from back in the day. All of that, vote blue no matter who. And no, we're actually getting the information because we're in an era of information. Black women are still too badly on the plantation field with that shit. And I'm seeing black women slowly put the pieces together. The second they catch up, we could see a different situation in like the next 10 to 15 years because we're hustlers. That's just what we do. We've had to hustle. And I'm not saying, sadly, the street stuff has happened where we've had to do that too. But in this era, we don't need it anymore. In this era, we do not need it anymore. Excuse me. This weather don't know what the hell they want to do. But yeah, man, I just don't get it. But for a white woman to say something like that, when white women benefit from DEI, some white women do think it's bullshit, believe it or not. Usually, like white evangelical women, like those real hard, like those Christian white women who, anytime something happens, it's like, oh, just pray it away. But yeah, that white woman. But wait, let me hit y'all with this Hispanic woman real fast. Where is she? Here she is.
So I'm hearing they're doing segregation. They're making it legal now. And I don't mean to laugh so hard, but it's just hilarious because what are you doing? Like you're failing this country. See, I'm sorry. I laugh because they still don't get it. Our money does a lot. See,
yeah, our money does do a lot. that's that's one thing they can't deny. That's why I refuse to believe that black people don't have money. They need our money. They need Hispanic money too, and Hispanic people know how to get to that money.
this is when they start realizing, why are we selling this? Or why is this? Or why are people not buying? They're gonna realize it was us. This is why it's so important for the Hispanic, Latino, Mexican, and Black community to start their own businesses so we could buy from each other.
I agree with that. I honestly, the only thing I've always questioned since I was younger is how are black and Hispanic people not really unified together? There's still a lot of animosity between both races, and I think really the one issue that Hispanic men have with us is that we can bomb their women, and that's really what it is, bro. A lot of Hispanic women like black men, but I never got it. I said black and Hispanic people been getting treated the same. We get forced into, like, a lot of Spanish people and black people. We're in the Bronx together. We're in my neighborhood together. You know what I'm saying? And we all grew up together. Basically, we all know each other, but there's still so much animosity between the races. I personally think that black and Hispanic people should have always locked together. The way we get forced to treat each other and the way we get forced to be in the same situation, we get locked up the most, we make the least amount of money. And it's not that we don't try, that's just the way they view black and Hispanic people. That's why I've always thought Hispanic people were thorough, even if they didn't like me, because I understand y'all got some of the same stuff we have to deal with, at least by the system. The Hispanic culture is 10 times better than the black culture, in my opinion. But I see a lot of Hispanic men. This election changed a lot because Hispanic men used to vote Democrat a lot too. Some Hispanic men used to vote Republican still, but we saw a different change this time around. That's for damn sure. But I do believe black and Hispanic people should lock in together. That's one thing I've always believed.
You want to keep us separate? By all means. My daughter and I started a year ago. It's called Latina Locor. We do bartending and we do parties, events, weddings. I also, on the side, work for a Black woman-owned business. You guys are funny. You racist people are funny. Keep us separate. It's okay, because you're setting yourself up for failure. And one thing about us minorities, we are God-fearing people. And we also depend on God to support us and to give us our daily bread. Go ahead. Keep up with your new laws. You're just going to come to find out sooner how much our money pulls in this country.
Well, if there's one thing's for sure. She damn sure right about that. The Hispanic community is super Catholic. And the black community is quote unquote Christian, but we don't follow a damn thing the Bible says. it's a lot to unpack with that one because she's basically saying black and Hispanic people should unite, which I've always felt that way. And then our money does flow too. Like white people ain't the only ones that keep the economy running; they're just a majority. But it takes a collection of all of our money to make this shit move, which is why the DEI pushback is still dumb as fuck to me because remember like people are boycotting Target, and I'm like, okay, why Target? And people are like, because they rolled back on DEI. I said it was an executive order to do so. That's what they had to do. And if you want me to keep it a buck with y'all, which is I've said this in one of my videos, these companies didn't fucking want DEI to begin with. They never did. If you want to keep it a buck. And I said, and I had a conversation with somebody earlier today on Instagram, and I said, well, why didn't you boycott Walmart last year? They got rid of DEI before Trump got elected. They got rid of that shit as snap of a dime. And it was like, well, Walmart's next. I said, yeah, but Walmart should have been first. Target didn't get rid of their DEI situation until it became a federal damn order. So they held their ground. But a lot of them other companies, y'all not boycotting them. They got rid of it before Trump got elected, and as soon as he got elected, they got rid of it. And then some companies dropped it as soon as the order came in. But Target was probably one of the last ones to do it. I know Google got rid of theirs, Amazon, some other companies got rid of it. I think Wells Fargo had a DEI program, which some people were shocked. Some people were shocked, bro. But I don't get it. I just don't get it. I don't understand why Target's getting all the smoke. And apparently they've lost like $1 billion from this shit. And I'm like, damn. So black people can rally together because it's mostly black people. I mean, I know some white people who are doing it. There are some Hispanic people who are doing it. And I've been in Target. Them bitches been empty. I mean, I don't give a damn. I'm going to Target. I don't give a damn about DEI. It ain't benefited us not one bit. So I don't give a damn. I'm not crying about it. Now, I do like diversity. I think it's a great thing. I remember being a kid, a lot of shows had a black character, some Asian characters every now and then. Like, a very diverse show that is loved by many was Victorious. I know y'all remember Victorious. I damn sure do. That was my shit. And it was a very diverse cast, but it didn't feel like it was forced on us. It didn't feel corny. It felt like, everyone flowed together. Everyone was their own person, their own character, and it worked. But now it's like people just making it seem like diversity, equity, and inclusion big deal when diversity has been around since the 90s. I mean, I personally think Power Rangers started it, and Power Rangers did it, a little bit racistly, unintentionally, but y'all get what I'm saying. They were one of the first shows to have like a diverse cast of teenagers working together. Maybe Captain Planet, but those shows were some of the first ones to really do it like that. And after those two shows, there was a bunch of shows like that. The Magic School Bus, the Puzzle Club, all kinds of shows where it was just a diverse group of kids. I remember the Zoom was one of my favorites, and I actually tried out for Zoom, but I didn't get picked. And I really wanted to be on Zoom. They had Asian kids, Indian kids, Hispanic kids, Pacific Islander kids, black kids. Everyone was on Zoom, and I loved it. So it's not about the forced diversity. It's about whether the diversity matters and how it sticks. And is it just to fill a quota, or do you want these characters to represent something bigger than just being that race? So yeah, but I kind of want y'all to rehear her just to like hear the whole thing straight through without interruption.
So I'm hearing they're doing segregation. They're making it legal now. And I don't mean to laugh so hard, but it's just hilarious because what are you doing? Like you're failing this country. See, I'm sorry. I laugh because they still don't get it. Our money does a lot. See, this is when they start realizing, why are we selling this? Or why is this? Or why are people not buying? They're gonna realize it was us. This is why it's so important for the Hispanic, Latino, Mexican, and Black community to start their own businesses so we could buy from each other. You want to keep us separate? By all means. My daughter and I started a year ago. It's called Latina Liqueur. We do bartending and we do parties, events, weddings. I also, on the side, work for a Black woman-owned business. You guys are funny. You racist people are funny. Keep us separate. It's okay, because you're setting yourself up for failure. And one thing about us minorities, we are God-fearing people. And we also depend on God to support us and to give us our daily bread. Go ahead. Keep up with your new laws. You're just going to come to find out sooner how much our money pulls in this country.
That's for damn sure too. I forgot to mention that part. My bad, y'all. This topic got me all over the place. People have just been on dumb shit. But yeah, you know how much money Black people make the country? Yo, bro, just think about the first time when the brother knocked out that white boy in the boxing match. That must have changed white people's perspective like a motherfucker. Then you gotta think basketball, football. We're some of the best athletes to ever touch both of those sports. The best golfer is a Black man. You know what I'm saying? We own this shit. They get so much money off of us. Mike Tyson used to make Donald Trump. Speaking of dummy, Mike Tyson used to make Donald Trump so much money. Donald Trump used to give money to Mike Tyson's fights. Why do you think Mike Tyson was like, I'm voting for Donald Trump because that's my friend. We've been friends for a long time. Yeah, because Donald Trump used to be in his pockets and Mike Tyson used to make him extra money. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's all keep it a buck real fast when we really realize, like, it is what it is. We make the money. And she's right. The minorities, we make a lot of bread for these mugs. Like, we do. So segregation, it just wouldn't make sense for it to come back. It would hurt them probably more than it would us. If we're gonna be honest. Like I said, I think if Black and Hispanic people got together, that would be beautiful. One side of the country would be fire as hell. I'll tell you that one. We could get a lot of this animosity out the door, get a lot of this healing, have some families, and just have a beautiful culture mixture. And I think Black and Hispanic people are some of the most resilient people on the planet and really can work together. And that's not saying like Asian people can't, but Asian people, they're the model minority. White people would love to have them on their team. White girls date white boys all the time. You see it, like that's the most common interracial dating is white boy, Asian girl. So, something to think about. But we moving on, man. Damn. Still got a couple of videos to go. I'm actually really enjoying this live stream. I actually feel like I know where I'm coming from with this. But let's go into a few more videos. Got some more just people just being dumb at this point. But some of it is real though. You know what I'm saying? Some of the best real stuff comes from comedy. The best part about comedy is that it can be realistic. You know what I'm saying?
Bitch, if you gonna go and segregate us, hurry the fuck up. Did they give us a date when the segregation shit gonna start? Cause bitch, I can go in the house and go pack my bags and get ready to leave right now. Cause bitch, we've been asking to be segregated. They actually think we give a fuck about being segregated. Y'all trying to trick us into getting these streets so y'all can go ahead and declare martial law. No, we will fucking leave. We don't give a fuck. We don't give a fuck about no motherfucking segregation, bitch. We want our own neighborhoods. We want our own cars. We want our own makeup brands. We want our own clothing brands. We want it all. And we got it all. You bitches just stole it and put y'all motherfucking names on it. So, bitch, if you gonna go and segregate us, hurry the fuck up. If you gonna segregate us, hurry the fuck up. We ready to go. We tired of being around y'all. Okay? If you want to segregate us, this is your one chance you could really do what the fuck you say you're going to do and segregate us. Please segregate us. Bitch. The fuck? Segregate us.
So, I mean, he's not wrong. I mean, I never asked for segregation. I don't know anybody who asked for it, but I do know that Black people, when we were segregated, we were really powerful. We just were just making moves, and that terrified them. It really did. And he's right. They are trying to rally us up, even if he did it humorously. But he is correct. He is correct. We have been so programmed to lash out every time we hear some information. He's right. They want us out in the streets acting a damn fool. I don't know about the martial law thing, but I mean, it's not impossible. He can call the National Guard if necessary. The president does have direct control over the military. That's for damn true. But for the most part, the only time it's ever happened was during the George Floyd riots, which we were on some bullshit then. I dig it. And the only thing that came from them damn George Floyd riots was DEI. And what has that done for us? Nothing. But yeah, I would love for us to have black towns again. So Neck of Hills was what we call Central Park now. Tulsa Massacre, all of that shit. Every time black people have built something or had something that was functioning and beautiful, they burnt it down and turned it into something to benefit them. So this is the time. And honestly, I just don't see black people letting this shit happen. This is a different black people. We are not them people. We're not them people. Y'all got the black people. Sarge Willipede says this all the time in his videos. I've been on the Sarge Willipede binge for a while. I just be watching this stuff and gathering information because the brother's he just got it. And he basically broke it down like, yo, America has the black people it deserves. And I said, you damn right they do. He's absolutely correct. They created this shit. Now, I will say we have our part to play too, but America, for damn sure, when it comes to what black boys have to deal with from birth to adulthood to death, yeah, you have the black people you deserve. But I do think that this generation of black people are finally starting to turn it around. And I think a lot of black people are more willing to admit that if we did segregate, we would be untouchable. But the thing is, we'd have to work together. Are we ready to do that in 2025? That's the big question. Let me go on, man. I forgot my videos. But let's go on with this brother real fast.
It's gonna be a sundown town. Chicago is gonna be a sundown town. New Orleans is gonna be a sundown town. So, and for the cities that's like predominantly like Hispanics, like Houston, Miami, like them cities, are they gonna be sundown towns for too? Like, and obviously I'm talking about reverse sundown towns, to where white people can't come in after Baton Rouge definitely gonna be a sundown town. All them niggas out here. I'm still not for the segregation, me personally, because I know, like I said, history, but just entertaining the idea, like, will they have black sundown towns? Like, would that be a thing? And now that, when I was in school, like, the back of the bus was the place to be. You know what I'm saying? You know how back in the day, like, they wanted black people in the back and we didn't want to go, a la Rosa Parks? Like, now, if there's white people in the back of the bus, y'all telling them to get up and move to the front. Like, how is it going to work? I'm just curious. Can somebody lay the guidelines and the laws down for me, since y'all so excited about segregation potentially happening again?
So there go the dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it though. When I was a kid, being on the back of the bus was lit. I ain't gonna hold you. And it was just, that's where people sat and did dumb shit. The bus aide was up in the front. The bus driver had to drive. Can't stop us on the back, so we did what we wanted. But my thing is, like, a black sundown town is just a diabolical concept. I ain't even gonna lie to you, bro. Like, a black sundown town would be crazy. I don't think we would do it, but we would definitely give them the same energy they gave us all these years. But I don't think we'd be willing to just unalive somebody just be. You know what? Never mind. We unalive each other just for looking each other the wrong way. So yeah, never mind. And no, we would do it. Like, we would definitely do it. The only difference is white people outnumber us 5-1. So if they wanted to come and try, we'd be having to go to war for real. We'd have to go to war. And sadly, as sad as it is, if you want peace, you're gonna have to war for it to some degree. That's just straight facts. I just think that, we want the black sundown towns. I hate the idea of sundown towns. I think it's ridiculous. The fact that black people had to go through that, you know what I'm saying? And that's why I keep saying, like, all these people crying about stuff nowadays, we didn't go through none of this. Our grandparents and our aunts and uncles and them and our great grandparents, they went through this. We didn't go through this. And apparently there are still sundown towns here in America today. So if we know about the sundown towns, why we don't pull up and blow they shit up? I'm not saying we should, but why don't we operate like that? Black, Hispanic people, and Asian people who like to do the nasty with black people. Why don't y'all all come together? We all run up in there, do them how they did Tulsa, except we're actually doing a service to the country and dipping out. I'm like I said, we don't have to do that. I'm saying for all the people who run their mouths about how tough they are, you know what I'm saying? That's a good sign to prove it. It's a good way to prove your machismo attitude that we have with the black and Hispanic men. It's a wild concept, man. It really is. Let me go into this woman who has been talking about, not moving in on the things and letting ourselves get riled up, which is, like I've been saying, we shouldn't be letting ourselves get riled up. But here she is. This woman, she's funny as hell, actually.
Hey y'all, so y'all know if Tiffy Bless don't do nothing else, she gonna come on here and give y'all a little laugh, a little giggle, a little kiki. But I need you all to listen to me on this one, for real. I want you to go to your search bar on TikTok and I want you to type in April 5th, okay? When you done doing it, I want you to go back to whatever you was doing before you saw this video. They're trying to get the people out there to march. They're trying to get them out there to protest. Peaceful demonstrations. This is not our fight. Do not engage. It is a trap. Okay? We not finna be out there acting a plumb dang fool so he can enforce martial law. We not, as a matter of fact, I'm thinking about having a little movie night. I'm thinking about having a soul food dinner that night. Might do some smothered turkey chops, macaroni and cheese, sweet potatoes, a little dinner roll, maybe some banana pudding. You all can put in the comments what you will be doing on April 5th, but remember, this is not our fight. We are still asleep for the next 3 years and 9 months, okay? We're going to leave that to them. I'm Tiffy Bless.
Yeah, that should sound good. But yeah, I agree. I said, like black people, sit your asses down. Sit down, shut up, and watch, and let it happen. On April 5th is called the Hands Off Initiative, where a bunch of people in different U.S. cities protest Donald Trump and Elon Musk. And I personally think black people need to sit their asses down. What the other races do has got nothing to do with us. We are going to be asleep. I'm going to be in my bed chilling. Might be an episode of Reacher that night. I don't know. No, probably not. It'll be something I'm watching because I've been getting into watching a lot of stuff now that I got a little more free time. It is just sit back, watch a new show. I would highly recommend y'all watch Abbott Elementary. It is a phenomenal series if you haven't. Philly boy once again. I'm never gonna not bring that up. It's just what I do. And if y'all want to start something new, start Abbott Elementary. I'm a big fan of the show. But yeah, no, they trying to get us out there in the streets, like I said, with the bull in the car. Like, we don't got time for this anymore. We've done our best to get the country to understand what the hell is going on. We've stuck our hand out. It's been cut off over and over and over again. We as a community, we've done everything we've done. Now it's time to just work on us. I tried telling this to some students at the college I go to. And I was like, yo, y'all need to just sit back, watch this shit happen. Let white society collapse under itself. This is what's going to happen. Just let that shit happen. We shouldn't vote. And they was like, oh, but Trump. Oh, Kamala's for everyone. Kamala's just this. I went through so much in high school because of Trump. And I'm like, look, I understand that. But look, just let this shit happen. They're about to collapse under themselves. Let this shit go down. And they just didn't want to do that. They was like, we got to go vote for Kamala because this is a bad thing. And then, I'm in the Black Student Union group chats and stuff. And they crying every time a Trump information comes out. And I'm just like, yo, bruh, Just let the information come out 100% before you start crying. You don't have all the answers yet. And now I understand what the old heads went through with us when we were younger. They used to be like, man, y'all young boys need to chill the fuck out. And it was never political. It was just, we were just irrational ass kids. But again, you have a community full of people who are raised by emotionally irrational women, emotionally irrational dudes, emotionally irrational men in the neighborhoods. We don't know how to conflict resolute. We don't know how to think things through. And again, I'm proud of our generation for changing that narrative. Gen Z boys seem to kind of get it a little bit more. Hopefully, Gen Alpha gets it a little more, and we change this narrative and start moving forward. Because this is just not a good situation for black boys, black men in general. So yeah, that was that woman. She was funny as hell. Yeah, April 5th, the hands off thing. We just can't afford this anymore. Mind our business. Sit our asses down. Don't get involved. Don't try to be seen. Black women, I'm definitely talking to y'all on this one. Sit down. This ain't got nothing to do with us. But if I know black people, there's gonna be a lot of young boys out there looking for vagina. So they'll be out there looking foolish. That's just what it is. I want to look at this brother too. Let me go into this brother real fast, because I know like every video I have that I played has had something to do with this topic, because it's just the topic has gotten so out of hand.
They bringing back segregation. I ain't too mad at it, because I got a couple lines I've been waiting to get off. Now I reckon you skim milk scallywags, quinoa conquistadors, pigment poaching napkin ninjas ain't for round here, is you? I'm gonna give you opportunity to scram. Go beat it, or your ass will get switched. I got a Gen 5 with a button. Now look, I'm hungry. I just want a little piece of pie. I done came all this way, got up off my couch. Now how much would it cost to turn one of them whites only pies into a nigga pie? Sour cream salamander, please. Did anybody tell you this is an all black party, huh? Somebody get this mayonnaise monster away from me. Bettina Sugar, Mark is a white man, but Mark is cool. We rocking with Mark, cause Mark is rocking with us, you got it? Now, you can't treat him like any of the other crackers right here, because he ain't like any of the other crackers right here, you got that? You want us to treat him like black folks? No, that's not what I said.
I mean, look, all bullshit aside, that was funny, right? But I do get what the sister was saying earlier. Like, it's all kiki and haha now. But I think a lot of black people are serious. Like, this is just how we respond to shit. We just respond to stuff like this because we've had to force ourselves to laugh it through. It is an unfortunate situation, or I think we can't take things seriously because of that, but other cultures look at us that way. The other problem is, he just can't wait to spew some racism. You know what I'm saying? It's like, come on, bro. I get it, though. It's funny. But we got to really think about what could be around the corner. And what could be around the corner, like I'm saying this now, like it can't happen, but shit, what if Congress wake up one day and say, no, we're going to bring it back? And then we like, oh, damn, blindsided. But honestly, I don't think it could happen. I think the reason why people are joking so much is because some of them know it can't happen, but I genuinely believe a lot of them don't understand that it can't. So some people are moving how I expect them to move. Just not getting it. But that was a little humorous video, nothing too much, but I do see a lot of black people acting like that. Should they act like that in college now? Some colleges are segregated. A lot of people don't understand. There's a lot of interracial sex on college campuses and some interracial dating, but colleges are segregated like hell. Black spaces, Asian spaces, Pacific Islander spaces, white spaces. Like, you know what I'm saying? They all separated. But I work in a cafeteria at a college, and you sit there and you at the lunch and the dinner times, and you look and it's like all the Asian kids at this table, group of white kids at one table. Every now and then you'll see an interracial friendship or an interracial couple, but for the most part, them colleges segregated like hell. Wow, man. I want to go into. I kind of want to go into the next video. Let me make sure this is the right.
Hey, yeah, it's Tiffy Blessed. Child, they done said the president is bringing back segregation. Did you hear what I said? He is bringing back segregation. Okay, Mr. Trump. So we as a black community are here for it. I'm just going to give you a couple of reasons why we are in support of this. And there in no particular order, just some things that was on the top of my head, you know. Number one, black folks keep their bathrooms clean. Please, Mr. Trump, segregate those bathrooms. If you don't do nothing else, we would like our own bathroom. We know the rules. We know how to keep it clean. We hate coming in there behind y'all. It always stank. Yeah, I got a whole different type of stank. It stank. It's a lot going on in there. Please, if you don't do nothing else, segregate them bathrooms. Number two, we want to know where we spending our money. I would rather know before I walk into the doors of the establishment, hint, hint, Target, that you don't mess with me. Then I ain't gonna spend my money there. Yes. Thank you, Mr. President. We here for it. Number three, I want to make sure y'all understand this work both ways. So when we put our sign up over our restaurant with our good seasoned chicken, and it's safe for black folks only, a Karen bet not. Your president did this, Miss Karen. A Karen bet not. So we here for it. Segregate it all. We stronger that way. Segregate it all. And if you were doing this for a reaction, this the only reaction you gonna get out, black folks. We still not marching. We still not marching. We still sleep for the next 4 years. I'm Tiffy Blessed. I'm out.
See, I like her because she's keeping it real. Like, I love that she was saying stuff like that. Like the bathroom thing. I mean, black people, I've seen some nasty ass bathrooms in black houses, but for the most part, we do try to keep that shit clean. If you don't have a toxic household, I grew up in a toxic household, so my bathroom was dirty. I ain't even gonna lie to you, bro. But the reality is, she is right. If you want to bring segregation up in here, we can do a blacks only sign. We can do a blacks only this, blacks only that. White people don't step up in here. Whatever. And she's right. I want to know where I'm spending my money. But see, I already know where I'm spending my money because I know what country I live in. You know what I mean? I would love to see black people opening our own corporations and shit like that. So now they can say, well, at least they got their own. We have our own. The playing field is leveled. And when they try to reintegrate the country, you know what I'm saying? It's just beautiful. I'm for black people getting our shit together anyway. I'm not saying we have to segregate to do it, but I know if we did get segregated on a cultural standpoint of the past, we are stronger that way. It's just something so dumb as segregation as to come for us to be that way. I do want to replay the video because there's a second part to this video. So I'm going to play both parts twice. So I'm going to play the second part so we can get to the other part of this, you know?
Hey y'all, it's Tiffy Blessed, and I'm back with part 2. Now I done got some feedback from the community, Trump, from the black community, and we here for it. We want to know exactly what date the segregation is gonna start. Can you put it in ASAP like you did the DEI? Because look, we got some other things need segregated. Now my brother played NFL and professional football his whole life, and he wanted me to make sure to mention we gonna need to start with them sports first, okay? So we gonna need our sports team, and then y'all got y'all. That includes NFL, NBA, MLB. Now remember, it say colored and non-colored. Them Dominicans they colored, right? So they come over there with us. We gonna need all that. We also don't want y'all going to our black hairdressers, estheticians, you know, your little waxes and all that. President Trump, is there any way we can also make sure that this bill extends online? Please don't shop at any of our boutiques. We don't try to show up in our fashions. We excited about this, Trump. Now, also, we want to figure out a way that we can ensure that only we can benefit from the sale or any type of marketing or use of our music. That's a big one. Okay, so make sure y'all can have Taylor Swift is all you, boo. Okay, but keep Kendrick over here with us. All right. So we excited about it. We here for it. If you need us to sign something, we'll go ahead and do that. But yeah, let's see if you can start this as quickly as you started all that other shit you was doing, okay? Because we excited about it. All right? Okay. If I knew you was doing this, my guy, I might have been behind you a little bit. But yeah, we need them sports. We need to make sure y'all ain't coming over to our hairdressers. Y'all ain't trying to listen to our music. None of that. Okay? If I forgot something, y'all put it in the comments so he can make sure he add all this into the bill. And you know what I'm saying? And make sure that they ain't getting none of our stuff, right? He wanted this, but we here for it. I'm Tiffy Blessed.
Okay, so again, funny as all well, but she right again. She's got a point. I agree. We should be able to get all the profits for our music, which means Kendrick Lamar, all that bread come to us. Ed damn sure come to us. Beyonce, Jay Z, sadly Kanye, whoever, Corday, Rhapsody, Leon Bridges, all of them artists, all of them beautiful black artists. Well, who get Ray money? Well, she's from the UK, so it don't matter. But you know, like it just is what it is. I would like that to be the case without the segregation. You know, like if we're going to bring back segregation in 2025, which it ain't gonna happen. The Jews really get a lot of money off of the music industry, especially black hip hop music. We know this for a fact. So I'm tired of them controlling our narrative too, because they've been trying to make us look goofy. It's not even against Jewish people at all, but they've been trying to make us look goofy too. Then you got all this other bullshit. She right. All the money that we put out should come right back to us, and it does not. Celebrity money goes right back to white people. Music, sports, all that money goes right back to white people. Why don't come back to us? I love that. On football teams, all that stuff, all the money and everything, marketing, businesses, restaurants, all that should come back to us. But that would require us to build our own shit in the first place, and we can make sure that our money goes back to us. Like even right now, we could do black hospitals, we could make black banks, black credit unions, black this, that, and the third, and it's not happening. We're getting our backs against the wall, and people are talking about this. That Black Project 2025, didn't she drop it because of her mental health? And all she did offer refunds though. She did offer refunds, but this is what I'm talking about. We get somebody that does it, but then we get so scared to really put it through. But damn, we're going a little hour, over an hour. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. I do want to replay both of these back to back so we can get a good feel of both of them together though.
Hey, y'all, it's Tiffy Blessed. Child, they done said the president is bringing back segregation. Did you hear what I said? He is bringing back segregation. Okay, Mr. Trump. So we as a black community are here for it. I'm just going to give you a couple of reasons why we are in support of this. And there ain't no particular order, just some things that was on the top of my head, you know. Number one, black folks keep their bathrooms clean. Please, Mr. Trump, segregate those bathrooms. If you don't do nothing else, we would like our own bathroom. We know the rules. We know how to keep it clean. We hate coming in there behind y'all. It always stank. Y'all got a whole different type of stank. It stank. It's a lot going on in there. Please, if you don't do nothing else, segregate them bathrooms. Number two, we want to know where we spending our money. I would rather know before I walk into the doors of the establishment, hint, hint, Target, that you don't mess with me. Then I ain't going to spend my money there. Yes. Thank you, Mr. President. We here for it. Number three, I want to make sure y'all understand this work both ways. So when we put our sign up over our restaurant with our good seasoned chicken, and it's safe for black folks only, a Karen bet not. Your president did this, Miss Karen. A Karen bet not. So we here for it. Segregate it all. We stronger that way. Segregate it all. And if you were doing this for a reaction, this is the only reaction you going to get out, black folks. We still not marching. We still not marching. We still sleep for the next 4 years. I'm Tiffy Blessed. I'm out. Hey y'all, it's Tiffy Blessed, and I'm back with part two. Now I done got some feedback from the community, Trump, from the black community, and we here for it. We want to know exactly what date the segregation is gonna start. Can you put it in ASAP like you did the DEI? Because look, we got some other things need segregated. Now my brother played NFL and professional football his whole life, and he wanted me to make sure to mention we gonna need to start with them sports first, okay? So we gonna need our sports team, and then y'all got y'all. That includes NFL, NBA, MLB. Now remember, it say colored and non-colored. them Dominicans they colored, right? So they come over there with us. We gonna need all that. We also don't want y'all going to our black hairdressers, estheticians, you know, your little waxes and all that. President Trump, is there any way we can also make sure that this bill extends online? Please don't shop at any of our boutiques. We don't try to show up in our fashions. We excited about this, Trump. Now, also, we want to figure out a way that we can ensure that only we can benefit from the sale or any type of marketing or use of our music. That's a big one. Okay, so make sure y'all can have Taylor Swift is all you, boo. Okay, but keep Kendrick over here with us. All right. So we excited about it. We here for it. If you need us to sign something, we'll go ahead and do that. But yeah, let's see if you can start this as quickly as you started all that other shit you was doing, okay? Because we excited about it. All right? Okay. If I knew you was doing this, my guy, I might have been behind you a little bit. But yeah, we need them sports. We need to make sure y'all ain't coming over to our hairdressers. Y'all ain't trying to listen to our music. None of that, okay? If I forgot something, y'all put it in the comments so he can make sure he add all this into the bill. And you know what I'm saying? And make sure that they ain't getting none of our stuff, right? He wanted this, but we here for it. I'm Tiffy Blessed.
Now we inviting Dominicans. Now we claiming Dominicans. That's crazy, yo. Because didn't we just get some from Zoe Aldana saying Dominicans ain't black or something like that? So that's crazy, bro. But no, man, everything she said in that was true. It was for comedy, but she might really be serious. And it does show that black people understand that if we did segregate, we would be stronger. But the problem is, why do we have to be segregated to be strong? We could be strong right now. We could unify right now and run this whole joint. But it's like y'all want the worst thing to happen before we do it. So if we get segregated, that's when we'll be strong again. But we could still be strong right now. We could be stronger. So why are we not doing it? This is a perfect time for us to use this administration to wipe out the bull and get our stuff together, come together, put our pride aside, and get it done. That way, when something goofy does happen, because let's be honest, we are in the era of white boys crashing out. Luigi Mangione was a sign that there's more of that shit to come. That's just straight up what it was. And people don't want to get it. They tried to make it seem like a brother was the one who unalived that man. Unfortunately, that man had children. I said that in my video. I don't give a damn what was going on. That man's life should not have been lost. Period. And unfortunately, his life was lost because somebody just decided to be on bullshit. But this is the era we're in. This is the white boys crashing out, losing their mind. It's okay when you do it to black men. It's okay when you do it to Hispanic men. I'll be damned if you do it to me as a white man and doing it to other white men. We supposed to be the top people. How dare you? So we you know, they can't blame us for this shit. Like I said, when this whole thing goes down and black people are sitting back not doing nothing about it, we are the one race for once in our lives they cannot blame for this. Sit y'all asses down. And stop letting them fearmonger y'all and drive y'all crazy and getting in y'all heads. Look, got one more video before I head up out of here. We had almost an hour 15. Y'all been here with the Black Intellectual. And I'm glad y'all tuned in. I'm glad I got to do this video. This topic been getting out of hand. I will bring a strong close when after this video.
The headlines read like this: Trump and his administration rolls back protections for human and civil rights. That's what headlines are designed to do, to pull on your emotions and get some of you to dislike Trump even more, when the truth is that in 1965, President Lyndon Johnson enacted Executive Order 11246 to protect federal workers from being discriminated against for federal contracts based on their race, religion, or gender. And that makes sense because at that time, we were just coming off the backs of Jim Crow. May I add, was a disgusting time in our history, but we're moving on from that. What's done is done. We can't go back. Now, what Trump is doing is removing this because it no longer applies. There are many races, genders, religion that are federal workers, and it's similar to the DEI rollback because we want to hire people based off merit, not based off the color of their skin, their gender, or their religion. That's not fair. So I don't know why you guys believe in 2025 that Trump would try to enact some Jim Crow or segregation. And the truth is, none of us are not going to allow it because it's just not like that. And if you're really worried about your civil rights, you still have the Civil Rights Act of 1964. You still have the Fair Housing Act of 1968. You still have the Equal Protection Clause under the 14th Amendment. So no one is taking your rights. Stop letting this left-wing media encourage you guys to believe that something bad like segregation is going to happen again. They're playing and making you fear. And remember, perfect love casts out all fear.
I'm going to run that back because it needs to get ran back. She kept it a whole buck.
The headlines read like this: Trump and his administration rolls back protections for human and civil rights. That's what headlines are designed to do, to pull on your emotions and get some of you to dislike Trump even more, when the truth is that in 1965, President Lyndon Johnson enacted Executive Order 11246 to protect federal workers from being discriminated against for federal contracts based on their race, religion, or gender. And that makes sense because at that time, we were just coming off the backs of Jim Crow. May I add, was a disgusting time in our history, but we're moving on from that. What's done is done. We can't go back. Now, what Trump is doing is removing this because it no longer applies. There are many races, genders, religion that are federal workers, and it's similar to the DEI rollback because we want to hire people based off merit, not based off the color of their skin, their gender, or their religion. That's not fair. So I don't know why you guys believe in 2025 that Trump would try to enact some Jim Crow or segregation. And the truth is, none of us are not going to allow it because it's just not like that. And if you're really worried about your civil rights, you still have the Civil Rights Act of 1964. You still have the Fair Housing Act of 1968. You still have the Equal Protection Clause under the 14th Amendment. So no one is taking your rights. Stop letting this left-wing media encourage you guys to believe that something bad like segregation is going to happen again. They're playing and making you fear. And remember, perfect love casts out all fear.
Exactly. She just broke it down like that beautifully. And you know, I'm about to bring this to a close because damn, I haven't gone for a minute. I'm getting tired. But yeah, man, it can't happen. Yes, when we need these things back then. Oh yeah, we were coming off of Jim Crow, we were coming off COINTELPRO and all these other things. Facts, straight up facts, and we've moved on from that. Like I said, we never needed DEI, and the way black people have latched onto it don't make any damn sense. Affirmative action, I understand it. I don't think black people ever need it. I don't think we need it anymore. And I'm not saying like, yeah, Donald Trump's doing something great. No, because again, it's only to federal. It's not to govern. It's not to city workers. It's not the people who work in transportation. It's not the people who work in law firms or real estate agents or anything like that. It's literally just in the federal area. And we don't need these things. What black people need to do is to grow up, get our shit together, fix the culture, and move on from this. We can't keep living like this. We can't keep using these talking points to get us riled up. Like she said, they use these words, these trigger words, these things that they know they can get into your head with to get you to react out of spite. And they win every time. We let them win every damn time. But this time is different. And I'm glad black people are realizing this. Now, are there not enough black people? No, I think we, as like 50% of black people, need to operate like this. But unfortunately, that's not the case. But the black people who get it, finally get it. And 20 years ago, this would not be the case. I wish we could be like this 20 years ago. Who knows what we'd be right now? But I think by 2040, we might be a different community. I'm looking forward to that. I really am. I'm looking forward to a different community. So we just gotta be ready for what's coming down the line. Now I'm not saying this is gonna be peaceful. No, shit about to get goofy. Shit gonna get real goofy for a while. But that's where we need to just latch together because it's just not working, man. It's not working anymore. We gotta just get it popping, get it going. Maybe go to college a little bit more. I understand why there are a lot of black people who don't like college. I get it. Getting trades is a good thing, but you still make more money getting your degree. That's true. But I do appreciate the skilled trade brothers and the skilled trade sisters, and I would love to see more black people going to college, especially black men going into not the easy ones, but going into law, going into medicine, going into business, going into science, engineering, technology, math. That's when we'll start seeing the difference. Education is the key out, but for some reason, the black community has taken this rhetoric that it doesn't matter, but it does. And also, college has a effect on our minds because they are fucking liberal at college, and they try to shove all the pretty stuff down your throat. And black people, we already go into college like that, but then by the time we're out of college, it's really jammed into our systems because they beat us over the head like our moms did. That's why we are so irrational as a community, men and women. I can't even talk to boys like men because, and I used to be like this because, again, we are raised by irrational women. And I'm glad that the men are putting this together and going, yo, the Democrats ain't it. The left has been playing this, using all the words segregation, racism, slavery, all those talking points to try to scare us into being irrational fucking children. But now it's a different time frame. It's a different era. Y'all gonna have to move differently. Y'all gonna have to move differently. But look, segregation can't come back. It can't come back. As much as they try to scare you into it, as much as people are gonna say, "Oh my God, segregation," and Trump can try to do what he wants to do, but it's not gonna happen. Go on, y'all. Like it's not gonna happen. They not with it, bro. We shouldn't be with it, but it ain't gonna happen. Now, what black people could do is metaphorically segregate and build, but the country can't force segregation on us. We're, again, I've said this before, it's the main point of this topic. We're too integrated as a country. Black men marrying Asian, Hispanic, white, whoever, white women doing the same thing. Asian men are trying to do the same thing. Indian people, they the only ones. they they the only ones that stay loyal to each other for real at this point. Like, let's be honest, dating as far as racial is the most common. Same racial dating is the most common. It will never not be the most common. Indian people making sure of that shit. They want to keep that funk to themselves. They want to keep that armpit smell to themselves. Like, but at the same time, I'm drawing. I'm drawing. But at the same time, like, yeah, interracial dating is at too much of a high for them to segregate. Interracial marriage is too high. Interracial children are too high. Most people are two races at this point. We just don't know it yet. Some people come from other countries, multiracial. I have a friend who's Costa Rican and Nicaraguan, but she was born in Costa Rica and she moved here when she was a kid, but she's mixed race. So how does that work for her? Do they just lump her in as one big Hispanic and throw her into the fire? You know what I'm saying? And my question is, what if somebody is black and white? Do they get to choose? Are they able to jump from one side to the other? You know what I'm saying? We gotta think about this. Like, it just doesn't make sense, and people don't critically think enough. And the black community is criminal for this. We don't critically think enough about a factual situation. But I just did it for y'all. I know other people will do it too. I know Lady Boulay, she did a phenomenal video on why segregation can't happen. She did two of them. The Civil Rights Act of 1964 is not a federal order, is not an executive order by the president. It is a law signed by Congress. Only Congress can really overturn it. Maybe the Supreme Court, maybe, but Congress. The president can't touch it. The president is not what y'all think. They can't just do what they want. They try, and I'm not going to say no president is above the law because we've seen it twice now that they are. But I'm saying that the Civil Rights Act, the Federal Housing Act, and the Protection Act, all those things are federal laws by the United States Congress, which is the legislative branch. The executive branch is the president. The judicial branch is the Supreme Court. 3 different branches of government. The president can only deal with executive stuff. So yes, he can deal with the IRS. He can deal with all those other things. He can deal with all those federal things, all those government things, but he cannot deal with everything. Does he have direct control over the military? For some reason, yes, he does. For some goofy ass reason, he does. But he cannot bring back segregation. Elon Musk can't do it. JD Vance can't do it. None of them can do it. And the worst part about it is, let's just break this down for a second. Donald Trump, JD Vance, Candace Owens, Byron Donalds, Clarence Thomas, and many other Republicans are in interracial marriages. They be tearing their own marriages apart. And I think Elon Musk is in an interracial marriage. Shit, Nikki Haley is in an interracial marriage. Her daughter married a black man. Her daughter's in an interracial marriage. There's just too much interracial marriage amongst even the Republicans, who everyone are saying want to bring back civil rights, to bring back Jim Crow and all that. They wouldn't be able to be married to the people they're married to. All y'all got to do is look up the facts. It doesn't make sense. But people are letting this shit get to their heads. It's all a ploy. At the end of the day, it's all a damn ploy. But that's it, man. I just had to bring that home to y'all. It just doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired of seeing black people get all up in arms about stuff that there isn't even a proof that it can happen. And I'll be having a topic like this again soon because something dumber is about to happen. If anything, I might be going more into a DEI discussion because this DEI pullback from black people just doesn't make sense either. I've mentioned shit on that. I might keep that one video of the white girl because, you know, she mentioned the DEI drone too. But yeah, that's all I gotta say on the topic, man. I'm glad y'all tuned in with the Black Intellectual. This is another live I've been doing. I've been doing more lives than like actual videos. I got to get back to videos. I'm trying to get more frequent in my video putting out. It's just been a real busy time. But y'all tuned in with me, you know, like, comment, subscribe. Hopefully some of y'all can catch my next live. I should start posting, but you know, I just be doing them. So, you know, subscribe for more. I'll see y'all on the next live.